And welcome to JFP Sports, where fantasy and sports talk lives. Well, folks, football is back. Ricky P and I are in the house. We got D Nanas, a brother from another mother, behind the counter. And Rick, what a great week in not only sports but football. First Sunday of football. What'd you think?
It was great up until the Monday night game versus
I'm
Jets.
happy.
Yeah, I know you're happy. Matt Stafford wasn't my biggest fan. Neither was Matt Prater. I think moral of the story is don't take any Lions named Matt. But no, it was a fun week. Jets did well. Giants struggled a little bit, and we'll get into that. But no, it was a good week, and I'm happy it's back.
Folks, do you want to know how much I love this show? Well, I am half sick right now. I have a congestion cold, so bear with me. But because of the love of this great show, I am going to do it. So, Rick, let's run through a little highlights here. We could run through each game that went on this past Sunday. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, we'll start on the Thursday night game. Eagles-Falcons. The Eagles obviously won by a touchdown. Not too convincing. The biggest take that I took away, they're still the defending Super Bowl champs.
Absolutely.
Until they get knocked off, they will be very, very tough to beat, especially in that division, which I don't think is all that
Julio
strong.
Jones, a few fantasy owners had him, 28 points.
Yeah, no, he put on a show. Matt Ryan struggled a little bit. And
Bum.
Season 2 of Steve Sarkisian's offense, not overly impressed. Julio Jones obviously is the main target, and they force-fed him a lot, as they should. But my biggest takeaway was Nick Foles, while not being that Super Bowl quarterback, that everyone Super Bowl MVP, he was good enough to get the win, and that's more than important in this league.
The Philly special, too. What'd you think of that? When I saw that going on, I was like, I can't believe they're running this again.
Yeah, no, it was a good play. They needed it. They needed a jolt at the time. It just felt very staggered. The weather obviously didn't help. But, again, Eagles won.
Pulled it out.
Right, and they got off to a good start.
Okay, next up, your Ravens. The Ravens and the Bills. I mean, what a showing.
Yeah. Honestly, I could talk about the Ravens. I said it as we first talked about the AFC North. I said this offense was going to be improved.
Yeah, dramatically.
Joe Puma dn't believe me.
Yeah.
And I didn't.
Look, I believe you, but there comes a certain time when your opponent is just that bad.
Right.
And I don't think that the Ravens are a bad team. I'm just saying that the Bills were that bad.
Right. And watching that game for.
No fight.
My biggest takeaway was where the Bills going. I understand. I think the Ravens will be much improved. We've agreed that the Ravens may or may not be the most complete team in that division. Especially, I've been saying it through the preseason. The Ravens haven't lost a preseason game since 2016, which doesn't necessarily translate. But
no, yeah.
They've just looked very good in all three phases, and it spoke to the Bills. Nate Peterman should go back to college, go coach, go something, and Josh Allen wasn't ready. What did you take away from that 44-point
What
blowout?
I take away from that game was, A, why did we get rid of Tyrod Taylor? B, why did we get rid of A.J. McCarron? Because the two kids that came in, Peterman and Allen, are both not ready. You drafted Peterman last season, 2017, in, I believe, third or fourth round, whatever it may be. He hasn't panned out yet. I think it's another Hackenberg situation. And then you have Josh Allen, who you're trying to get his feet wet, but it doesn't help that his offensive line is terrible. He has no one to throw to. I mean, you can't count Calvin Benjamin. He barely looks like he wants to play. I mean, it's just not a good chemistry for the kid right now to put him in that situation. He's going to get killed. I would have just stuck with Tyrod Taylor. And, obviously, they needed to draft a young quarterback. But you could have took a page out of the Browns book and just had Tyrod Taylor there and the incumbent, and then have your rookie quarterback behind him.
Yeah, no, this is bad.
Poor planning.
This is a bad situation. And if we have a candidate for 0-16 after week 1, the Ravens put on display that it might be the Bills. Moving on. The New York team, not the Jets.
The New York Football Giants.
Right, the Football Giants. The Jaguars narrowly squeaked it out thanks to a pick six, or I'm not sure if it was a pick six or a fumble. It might have gotten knocked out. Either way, the defense proved strong again. Jaguars 2015. First takeaway from you.
2018.
I
thought you were about to talk about the season.
No. Well, they look good at the beginning of 2018. But
my takeaway is that I love the defense still for this team. Jacksonville's still a strong defense. The only thing is Leonard Fournette going to make it through a 16-game schedule? I mean, last year you had the photo incident where he didn't make it, and they suspended him. Coughlin suspended him for a game. And then you had the foot injuries lingering all season. And you and I talked about this, coming into this year. I had Leonard Fournette on my fantasy team, and I traded him for a first and third round pick because I know just the injuries alone linger. And yes, is he a great force and he's a great player? Yes, when he's in there, like anything else. So that we will have to monitor. For you fantasy owners out there, TJ Yeldon. I mean, he's a must-add in all formats. And against the Patriots, I'm going to have, I like TJ Yeldon. But then again, it's the Patriots we're playing this week too. So, it's not, I think the Pats, like always, will find a way. But considering this game, I think they did very well. On the Giants side of the things, I feel like, is Eli really your future? I mean, think about this. He had one good game last season. It was that Eagles game. Did that really settle things in Gettleman's head to say this is our guy for the future? I know we went with Saquon Barkley, and I believe Saquon Barkley is going to be a stud. I mean, he had a rushing touchdown. But at the same time, you always take the quarterback because you are putting 15 years of your franchise in that man's hands, and his hands are on that ball. Your destiny is in his hands. Truthfully.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still early. It's week 1, but him and Darnold will always be linked.
Yeah. For someone who's sick, you seem to be enjoying that one. For the Jaguars, I couldn't agree with you more on Leonard Fournette. I'm going to leave them alone. Like I said, I thought their defense was outstanding, and once again, Bortles got away. I found a way to get it done, and TJ Yeldon is a must-add. I'm going to take a different view with the Giants. Look, it's hard for me to say a rookie. We talked about his expectations for I'm talking about Saquon Barkley. If you look at the production, he had a good game. If you take away the 168-yard run for a touchdown, he struggled. And I want to bring up 2 points, real quick. Again, it's hard for me to say a 68-yard touchdown and take that away because he is a game changer. The other thing, though, is do you think, and this is more of a rhetorical question, Sam Darnold at the 3 pick played very well. Now, I know we'll get into that, and that game was way out of hand before Darnold even had to do anything. But Eli did struggle. And it just reminded folks that you can have Odell, who I thought played very well versus Jalen Ramsey after Jalen Ramsey talked.
Oh, yeah, I thought he was really putting work on him.
Odell, if we go NFL versus Jalen Ramsey, it's 1-0. The NFL's 1-0 because Odell won that matchup. He took his money. And we'll see how Gronk does against him this week. But I think the debate for the Giants are out, and they need a big week coming up, week 2. The Buccaneers and Saints.
I love this game.
Yeah,
this is my favorite game of the week.
Yeah,
and you know why, right?
Fitzmagic.
He's back. And points. Ricky and I love to see points put up because nothing's better than seeing a guy go into the end zone for that catch. On the red zone, I hear Scott Hansen. He's more hyped than I am. And, just seeing Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, even Ted Ginn and Juice. They were lighting it up. But you know what? Saints couldn't get it done. I think it was a little letdown because it was the Bucs.
Yeah.
Chris Godwin, Penn State.
Yeah, I don't know if I think I'm more disappointed. I'm going to be a little bit of a downer on this game. I'm a little disappointed in the Saints. I think they were 10-point favorites.
9.5.
9.5, right. 9.5, 10.
Basically, you need 10 to win.
Right. You needed them to win by double digits. And on paper, they really should have. But what I always have said about the Saints, they always seem to do better to me when they're underdogs. And a lot of them were, like the experts
Jets.
Right. A lot of experts, when you doubt Drew Brees, he does well. Not that Drew Brees was the reason they lost. By no means am I saying that, but 48 points.
Yeah.
But
Ricky, Drew Brees doesn't play defense. How about that?
No,
defense?
It's not. No, that's what I'm saying. It's not his fault.
It's just that defense. We thought, listen, the Saints have always been on the brink. They've always had the offense. For last year, for the first time in who knows how many years, they actually had a defense that
was decent. We're not talking about Jacksonville.
No, you don't have to be Jacksonville.
They were okay.
But they were good enough to get by and would shut down the likes of Mike Evans, would shut down the likes of Deshaun Jackson
and Godwin and
Julio at times.
Julio and
Marshawn Lattimore really brought that to them, and now I feel like it's the old Saints.
Right. Well, it's only week 1. Let's not overreact, but this was definitely a wake-up call. For a team that can put up points, it was a wake-up call.
Next on the docket, we got the Houston Texans and the Patriots. Now, this game showed a little bit that I think Deshaun Watson isn't as ready yet as we thought he would be. I mean, when he came in last year and took the league by storm, you had Dabo Swinney calling him the next Michael Jordan of that draft. And you know what? He was doing well, but then again, let's hold back on crowning people, because this just shows you, and it leads into our next guy coming up, but this just shows you that, you go against the Belichick defense a second time, he's going to get you. He finds a way to take away what you like to do. And for Deshaun Watson, it's getting out of the pocket, throwing that deep one to Nick Hopkins,
or Will Fuller.
And Belichick does a great job of taking that away. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. Deshaun Watson, all the praise needs to be reined back a little bit. You know what? More than anything, he looked like he was a little cautious. Yeah, with the knee, and I understand that. But
and a player like him can't play cautious.
Right, no.
They have to play with their hair on fire.
Especially with the ability to run. When Brady tore his ACL, he's a pocket quarterback. He's not moving. He really, honestly, falls down when he's about to get sacked. And that's one of the things I want to bring up. If you just, the Patriots won by a touchdown, and it wasn't really close. The score looks a little bit closer than it really was. If we look at J.J. Watt, Whitney Merciless, and Jadeveon Clowney, they really didn't get to Brady. And Brady sees pressure, and he audibles out of it, or he finds a way to get rid of the ball, or he falls down. And I think just what I took away was the maturity of the two quarterbacks. Watson looked young. Brady looked like the 41-year-old. So that was my biggest takeaway.
Looked like Brady.
Right. The next game, I know, definitely interested you more than it did me. The Vikings knocked off the 49ers at home, 24-16, as I think they expected. What I'm going to just ask you flat out, what did you think of Jimmy G? You've been on him all preseason, even going back to last year. What did you think?
For me, and I'm going to be very honest, it's a mixed bag. I loved some of the throws. I mean, especially that throw to Dante Pettis, I thought was a professional throw. Going around and getting your body back in tune to make a pass like that, that's a great throw, hard throw in the NFL. The other side of it is, I mean, you've seen Marcus Goodwin go down. There's not a lot of weapons there to help him. You had Jerick McKinnon go down. You had Alfred Morris cough up the ball in the goal line. So is that all on Jimmy G? No. But at the same time,
you got to put up more than 16
You got to put up more than 16
They scored
points.
One touchdown.
I think he's a star in this league in the making. But right now, like Deshaun Watson, we have to temper our expectations.
Well, and look, and we agree on a lot of things. I think Deshaun Watson is a better player currently. I think he's going to be a better player in the future. Now, obviously, that's all health, including assuming they're both healthy. Jimmy G, look, he's athletic for a pocket passer, but he's not running anywhere.
Well, let's put into the fact that he was playing one of the top two defenses in the league.
Absolutely,
and you could say the same for Eli. They were playing Jacksonville.
Well, the book's out on Eli. Eli is done. Eli's not trending upwards.
San Francisco is playing, one of the top three defenses in the league in Minnesota. So that is a rough start to start week one with. So we're tempering expectations. In this league, you just got to go week by week.
No, I agree. The only thing I'm worried about is there's tape on this kid now. Last year, he took the league by storm. Mm-hmm. And the Vikings laid out a blueprint to beat him. Now, again, most teams are not going to be able to replicate the Vikings blueprint. They don't have the defensive personnel, so we'll see. But again, another quarterback. Then let's just hold off for a little bit. Let's not
agree with you.
Let's not annoy him, Peyton Manning. After 6 games.
I think he will get there eventually.
Peyton Manning?
No, not the Peyton Manning. A little bit lower than that, but I think
so.
He's
Drew Brees.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I fully expect that. I'm not saying this year, but in the near future. Yeah, I'll take it from here. The Titans and the Dolphins. Now this
game's over. It ended?
Oh my God! It was like a 7-hour marathon of boring.
I think this might have been. I don't know, but it might have been the longest game from start to finish that the league has ever seen. The two bad weather delays.
I remember this a lot of times the past 2 years in Tampa. They would have these lightning strikes.
Yeah, it's Florida weather from September and October.
So maybe the schedule makers got to keep this in mind the first 2 weeks because that's biggest hurricane season in
September and October. Yeah. What did you see out of that game?
That I really liked. What I liked was from the Titans' perspective, the use of Corey Davis.
Yes.
He did have 13 targets.
Well, that was Delaney Walker going down.
Right, so that has a little mix into it. But they needed to get this kid going from the get. You draft a kid a year ago, 5th overall in the first round. You got to use him, all right? Matt LaFleur, the offensive coordinator, he comes from that Shanahan school, and he was with, actually, Kyle Shanahan in Atlanta 3 years ago. And then after that, he was with McVay last season as the offensive coordinator of the Rams. So he's got that background. Okay, so he knows offense, he knows formations. So I believe he has to get the best out of Corey Davis's ability as he can. And like I said to you, his ability for me is Anquan Bolden. Whether he gets there or not is on Corey Davis.
Yeah, no, and that's I've liked that comparison. I'm a big Bolden guy. I'm going to go the other way. Mariota's health is a concern, but the other way I'm going to go is the Dolphins. I thought Tannehill looked pretty good.
Yeah.
No Devontae Parker, and that really bolstered Kenny Stills. I think Kenny Stills is poised to have. I say he finishes
another good fantasy ad.
Top 20.
Someone's got to take the
top 20 wide receiver in this league. Kenny Stills went for 4 catches, 106 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Right, someone's going to have to do something on that team, and I think Kenny Stills might be the guy. Bengals, Colts, the Bengals, it was back and forth until that fumble by Jack Doyle.
That game was actually relevant.
Yeah.
Because when you look at that game going into week 1, you're like, really? The Bengals at the Colts? But you know what? What makes it relevant? Andrew Luck is in the game.
Right, Andrew Luck was back, and the Bengals have some few playmakers too. My takeaway of this game was Andrew Luck made it out healthy. I don't care about the result.
And he still got killed.
Right, he's right. The line is struggling, but again, that's my takeaway.
Colts fans out there, you got to realize Quentin Nelson isn't 5 people. He's 1 guy.
Right. That's a problem. He's supposed to block 5 guys. There's a blitz. He's supposed to block all 5. Yeah. He's good, but not that good. That was my takeaway. He made it out healthy, and he looked pretty good doing so. They didn't really go down the field too much, but that's okay. I said at the beginning that a good season for Andrew Luck is 80% of Andrew Luck. And what I meant by that was just go out there and get a feel. And they're not winning the division, in my opinion.
No.
I don't think they're that talented outside of Luck and maybe T.Y. Hilton. And, they added Ebron and they have Jack Doyle. But just getting Luck the reps. And I thought, to be honest, Jack Doyle doesn't fumble the ball. The Colts have a chance to win the game. Now, I know the Bengals aren't that great, and we're going to see them tonight versus the Ravens, but that was my takeaway. Anything you want to add anything?
My takeaway actually was that Bengal defense. I mean, we saw in preseason, especially that game against Josh Allen and the poor Bills team, right? What they did to them. It was, I think they had 5 or 6 sacks in that game. But, they just gave Geno Atkins big money, that front 4. Carlos Dunlap, the former Gator. I'm really liking that defense. And who came alive? Mr. John Ross. with a touchdown.
Yeah.
So hopefully that pick they could finally put it in, make something out of it, because that kid was a stud at Washington University.
Mm-hmm.
So if you utilize anyone the right way, you could get the most out of them. Moving on, Steelers and Browns. Holy moly! Well, they didn't go 0-16, so they can't go 0-16. They didn't lose a game. They got a tie.
I don't even want to talk about this game. What I want to talk about is the NFL. We need to find a way to remove ties.
I agree with you.
This is really a shame. Now, if I had to pick a side, I'm looking at the Steelers. Look, I know James I have him on my fantasy team. He did really, really well. Big Ben is on the decline, folks.
Well, when he's on the road,
right? I'm just saying. Look, I know the weather was. I know the weather was poor, and both teams look like they struggled, and that's why both teams tried to get the run game going.
And remember, I actually hit up Ricky that day, and I'm like, "What do you think about Jarvis Landry? What do you think about guys in this game?" Because they were saying the weather conditions were getting
right, and Jarvis did okay. He did pretty well.
Got me 15.
Right, no, and if you'll take that from Jarvis,
absolutely every week.
I didn't think he'd even get that much. I played James Conner. That was a lock for me. The minute D'Angelo, the reason that I did that, to be honest, I saw what D'Angelo Williams did before, and I think D'Angelo Williams isn't as good as James Conner, to be honest with you. You might disagree, but James Conner, it's just a great system.
Right. The Pittsburgh has a great system that running backs,
especially with the weather.
I told somebody, they're like, "Oh, should I drop Christian Kirk for James Conner?" And I'm like, absolutely. I mean, Christian Kirk is, first of all, third on the depth chart over there.
He's not
relevant. I mean, he had 2 points this past Sunday
for a starting running back.
Running back, absolutely. When you click in James Conner, he's an RB1, not 2.
He's
until Bell. You see, the whole thing is, when is Bell coming back?
Right. No, his value will drop once Bell comes back, but he's a top 5, top 10 play until that happens. So you continue to ride him if you have him.
And if I'm the Steelers, you know what? Yeah, Connor had that showing for me, but I still got to get Bell in there.
Oh, absolutely.
Game changer.
Look, Le'Veon Bell, right, he changes.
Best player in football.
Right.
Because he could receive, and he's a wide receiver / running back.
I won't say he's the best player in football, but what I will say is I think he's the second best running back behind Todd Gurley, which I think is a realistic statement, and top 5 offensive player. That will include Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. But, we differ. Chiefs, Chargers.
I love this game, too. I mean, my boy, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I didn't believe the Mahomes hype. I actually picked up Patrick Mahomes, and I will be starting him this week against the Steelers.
Yeah, you and everybody else. But go on.
No, I'm shocked he was kind of available. This was really disappointing on the Chargers' part.
Oh, God. No Joey Bosa. There wasn't.
I don't care if there's Joey Bosa. I don't care if there's Joey Bosa. You know why? Because
it was like a little mini KC, by the way.
Well, right. But I looked on the outside. I thought the Chargers' secondary was going to be decent. And Tyreek Hill made them look like high school players.
Well, Tyreek Hill does that to a lot of people.
But that coming in. Look, Kareem Hunt didn't have a catch.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
And he lost. I don't want to say he lost me week 1 because he wasn't terrible when he got it. He only got 13 touches. Look, folks, Tyreek Hill is a breakout star. Well, he was good last year. I'm telling you, this kid.
It kills those Travis Kelce owners, too.
Yeah, because, look,
Kelce is made for Alex Smith. Because Alex Smith, guess what Alex Smith will do in Washington? He'll make Jordan Reed relevant. And when Jordan Reed gets his scrambled brains in probably 2 weeks, he'll make Vernon Davis relevant. So Kelce is a great guy for fantasy with a quarterback like Alex Smith because you could just dump it off and he gets the yak. But with somebody like Mahomes, he's ready to gun and shoot. He's ready to go down the field. And a guy like Sammy Watkins, Tyreek Hill fit his profile because it's all down the field passing, at which Andy Reid loves.
Right. Tyreek Hill accounted for 3 touchdowns. Look, he's not putting up 3 touchdowns every week. But if he's not, first of all, you got to hope you just stop him in the punt game. He's got to draw 2 people on defense. I'm sorry. He's faster than everyone you have. There's not one defensive player that can stay with him. There's not anyone in football that can stay with him, let alone a defensive linebacker or cornerback.
Let me make a little comparison to you. Andy Reid. I can't remember the year right now. I'm thinking probably 2010, 09.
Did he have
Deshaun
Jackson? Yes.
Tyreek Hill. Michael Vick. Patrick Mahomes. Big arm. Guy that can
Well, Mahomes has a bigger arm than Vick.
No. But I'm just saying as a...
Oh, comparison. Yeah. Sure. Absolutely.
And I feel that you're going to see a lot of plays like those two are going to do. Just drop back, 5-step drop, and let it go. I
do want to bring up the point. I completely agree.
I never forget that Monday night against the Reds.
Against Washington. Correct. Deshaun Jackson had all his season stats that night.
Holy moly.
But what I do want to say, I think for Kareem Hunt owners, as I am, I think the days of him, there'll be plenty of good days. And the only reason I say that is because to have a quarterback that can throw it like that, you will have to start respecting the deep ball. And eventually...
There's going to be like 6-man front.
Right. And... do you disagree or you agree?
No, I agree. But I know Andy Reid's playing style. He loves to throw the ball. And the past couple of years, it's been taken away from him because he's had Alex Smith. Not to say Alex Smith is a bad quarterback, but that's not how he plays. So the running back was more, prevalent in that offense.
I agree.
Now, you're not going to see any dump-offs that much.
Not as many.
But
I think the box will open up tremendously.
Absolutely.
That's what. And also, you got to look at it from this way. We talk about game script. If they are putting up points early, Kareem, here you go. Yeah. Here's the fourth quarter. That could happen too.
But that's why we love Patrick Mahomes so much, and this is why I brought it up.
Yeah, no, I will give you credit for that because I wasn't as high. And again, I don't think the Chargers are as good as people say, but I am starting to understand where people are going.
And this makes Jimmy G a kind of relevance too, because those guys have horrible defenses. And what happens? The game flow for them is always throw. Now, will there come some picks?
Stafford.
Will there come some picks? Absolutely. But with those picks, you might hit a 60-yard bomb. You never know. The more you throw, the odds are something is going to happen.
I want to move to a game that was not as exciting. There were points. The Fighting Case Keenums knocked off Russell Wilson.
I like that game from the beginning, but then as it's playing on, I'm like, oh my god! All the Royce Freeman owners are like probably panicking because you got Philip Lindsay, the hometown kid from Colorado State, I believe.
He's a scat back.
And that's actually, you know what that reminds me of? When Case Keenum was going down the stretch that Thanksgiving game, and he was dumping it off to Jared McKinnon constantly. And you know what? They're going to use Philip Lindsay like Jared McKinnon and Royce Freeman down the goal line like a Latavius Murray. That's just the situation you're in, that kind of committee. And you know what? The team across from them is in the same committee because you got Old Penny.
Rashad Penny. And Carson.
And
his
Chris
kid,
Carson.
Will Dissly. Look, I don't know what the heck he is, but he had 3 catches for, I think, 105 yards and a touchdown. Look, Case Keenum is going to be a much improved quarterback for them. And I think the Broncos are going to be much improved on offense. I would have liked to see a little bit more from them on the defensive side of the ball, but at the same time, I'm excited from what the Broncos could potentially be doing. If we move forward, the Panthers and the Cowboys played a pretty boring game, I would say, and I'll get your opinion on it in a minute. The Panthers only scored 16 points, and the Cowboys struggled as well.
The poor Cowboys, Jesus Christ. What happened to that line? I mean, Looney looks like a loony bin. He can't block me.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going to go. Look, my takeaway is Dak Prescott is not the guy in Dallas. He's starting to look.
Whoa. Rick, I think he is the guy. I mean, you had Jerry Jones after the game coming out saying we need to do some plays like a Cam Newton offense. You know, why are the Cowboys?
Why is he getting compared to Cam Newton? He's nothing like Cam Newton.
I know, but I'm saying some of the plays,
right. He's going to be an offensive MVP.
No, but some of the plays can be copied.
So get rid of Jason Garrett then. Why is he still around? Look, you can't have it both ways.
I think the problem. Listen, Garrett is a yes man. Okay, that's how it works in life. That's why Boone still has a job.
Right, and that's why Jimmy Johnson got kicked out of there. Right, he won the Super Bowl and he's kicked out of there.
Secondly, I think the problem is Scott Linehan. There's no creativity in the offense. It's just basically
it's Zeke.
Yeah, that offense runs through Zeke, and that's fine. But since who
didn't look good,
you know what you do? You come to Jesus and you say, "Re-sign Dez Bryant."
It's not happening. It's not happening.
I'm telling you, Rick, because you could go out in pads and go catch.
It's not happening.
It is just horrible. The guys that they got out there.
But what has changed between the preseason when everyone knew this would be an issue through week one? Nothing has changed. It's not like someone else has gotten hurt.
You know, some teams go by, going into the offseason or preseason that maybe somebody will get cut and we'll pick them up. Well, that wasn't the.
They could have gotten Corey Coleman. Ask the Patriots. They did it.
Yeah.
Is Corey Coleman not better than the guys that they have down there right now?
Yeah, you could probably make a case for Corey Coleman too. But you see what I mean? It's just...
I could give you a bunch of guys that are out there that are better.
I don't know why we're sleepwalking. And another thing is, look at that defense. They're not stopping anyone either. So they can't stop anyone. And now all of a sudden they can't score because no one can catch other than Zeke Elliott. So what are we doing?
This Cowboy team, I hate to say it, but they look like they might be the worst team in the division.
Yes. You're absolutely
right. They have Ezekiel Elliott, and again, I'm not sold on Dak Prescott like you are. They have nothing.
New York Giants are blowing them out this week.
The Giants might go down there and beat them by 10.
They're getting 30. Yeah. You heard it here. Giants are getting 30 Sunday night. 30 to 16.
I want to disagree with you, but I can't. All right.
It's just
the Redskins and the Cardinals. I'll let you go first. I'm not even gonna give you a chance for a takeaway. Should Josh Rosen be playing?
Yes, that's not even up for debate. First of all, you got Sammy Two Sleeves out there. All right, really, come on. I mean, he missed Larry Fitzgerald twice, and how do you miss Larry Fitz? That's another thing. Two is okay. Let's just go back and give the ball to David Johnson. I feel like that offense is too stagnated.
They scored some. I can't believe.
I don't know how they scored. But I think Washington felt bad, but still.
They covered, so maybe they did.
And Arizona, for a team that's built off of defense now with a defensive coach-minded Sam Wilkes from Carolina, I mean, you made Alex Smith look like Troy Aikman out there. Like, Jesus.
Is he not going to be better for them than Kirk Cousins? I firmly believe he will.
Oh, because Alex Smith does not turn the ball over. Nope. I think that was best for both teams. But, going back to this game, I think you will see the reemergence of Jordan Reed if he stays healthy.
There's more of a chance that I can go play for the Jets tomorrow than him staying healthy. Come on now. We've said that every single season this kid's been in the league.
No, absolutely. And
I got a trade offer for him, and I said you might as well just send it to the hospital and ask for the bill back.
And people just better not, they're going to be jumping all over AP right now because he scored. But pump the brakes on Adrian Peterson because, that was the Cardinals. You have them, Washington playing the Colts, so that's a good matchup. He's a matchup-based guy.
If we talk about game script, I expect the Redskins to be losing a bunch, and you will not have Adrian Peterson.
But for the first 3 weeks, because their bye week is the week 4, Washington. For the first 3 weeks, they got good matchups for Adrian Peterson. You had Arizona, the Colts, and next week you have Green Bay.
But they'll be losing against Green Bay. That's my issue.
Do we know if Aaron Rodgers is playing? If Deshaun Kaiser's out there, you could very well and Green Bay's coming to Washington. Sure. So you have to give them that.
Sure. If Washington has a home game versus the Packers without Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. No, I'm saying if it's without Aaron Rodgers, then I'm with you. But if they have not an 80% Aaron Rodgers, they will be losing.
Right. If he was out there 17%.
Right, he'll be losing. So and the last game, speaking of that bad man, I'll let you go first because I think we're going to have different takes.
Right there, I thought to myself, why didn't I start the Chicago defense? But then I said to myself, well, you can never predict somebody, injuries and all this stuff happening, even though we like to. Going into the third quarter, as a fan, I'm like, I'm going to be honest, because you see Aaron Rodgers go down. You see him get carted off, nevertheless.
Mm-hmm.
Khalil Mack is just game-wrecking
everything in sight. He looked like a bulldozer.
He made John Gruden look
like an
great.
idiot again.
Yeah. And then, you pay that man. And then you just saw after halftime when Rodgers came back, just the Bears just crumble. And was it that Rodgers stepped back on that field and it's like that bad man is back? Or was it that Chicago
Matt Nagy
are good, but they're not ready to win right now? An experienced coach, rookie head coach, first game. Okay, you got Aaron Rodgers out. You're probably like, this is hook, line, and sinker. And then he comes in and it's just, here we go.
Are you done before I'm
done.
off?
Go. Did they run Jordan Howard better?
Matt Nagy, what on God's green earth are you doing letting Mitch Trubisky throw the ball at the end of the game?
You run that clock.
You have Jordan Howard. You have Tariq Cohen. You could hand the ball off to Trey Burton for all I care. What are you doing? You have Aaron Rodgers on the ropes in a game that they shouldn't even have been in. I wasn't even watching that game until I heard Aaron Rodgers was coming back because DeShone Kizer might as well have just given up at halftime and just they should have went and just left. Matt Nagy, what are you doing? You have Jordan Howard. Look, I think I'm being nice. Matt Nagy was the second worst coaching performance of the week, other than Matt Patricia.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted,
I think all rookie coaches, none of them won.
No, they don't.
No,
they went 0-7. Kendall Fuller, you dropped 5 interceptions last year. You didn't start this season off well either. You dropped 1. Could have ended the goddamn game. You let a guy like Aaron Rodgers have multiple chances, and you will get your heart broken
every time.
And look, I will say one thing, and this showed me a lot. For you Bears players that, let the game go away, just watch Khalil Mack trying to tackle Randall Cobb at the end of the game because he was the only one.
And he actually dove into the end zone.
He was the only one,
Jeez.
other than I think it might have been Adrian Amos, the only guy who was getting blocked down the field. Khalil Mack ran from the line of scrimmage down there. So take a look out of that playbook for the guy who's making the most money on your team.
Yeah,
take a look out of his playbook
because he's the new leader on that defense.
He's the new leader in the locker room.
Yeah, best player they have.
We will skip the Jets and the Lions because we will talk about that game in depth. Right. Rams Raiders.
I went to sleep after halftime.
Yeah. The Rams. Look, I picked them to win the Super Bowl. You had them going to the Super Bowl but losing, right?
No, actually, I had them going to the championship and losing.
Oh, to who? The Saints?
Yeah.
Okay.
You
have to say that after week 1, my Super Bowl pick is looking fantastic.
I mean, yeah, after week 1,
no,
a lot of things look fantastic. But absolutely.
But the thing I was concerned,
they're dominant.
The concern I was worried about.
Rusty out of the gate, but
right. But my concern was, well, honestly, I didn't say it on the air, but we talked about it. Are there going to be too many guys to take care of? And what I mean, are there going to be too many personalities? You have Ndamukong Suh come in. Aaron Donald, Talib, you bring in Cooks, Todd Gurley got his money. Goff is the only one who seems to be making dirt compared to the rest of those guys. Peters, Marcus Peters. Where's the weakness on this team?
Believe it or not.
What, their kicker?
No.
Because Zerline missed a field goal?
No.
Where's their weakness? Their tight end? Because they have everything you need.
Yeah. No, they're very balanced. But I would say the one thing that they're kind of weak in is special teams.
They're going to put up so many points.
But I'm just saying.
But we're nitpicking. Think about it. We're nitpicking.
Yes, absolutely.
If we're nitpicking on the Rams, we could find any team with a weakness.
Now, is this just show what being out of the league? How long has Gruden been out of the league? 10 years.
This guy has done everything wrong up to this point. He's calling out Derek Carr,
and I love Gruden
after week. But you love him.
I loved Gruden when he was on Monday night. But this shows, this, you're not living off the past anymore. These Oakland fans are going to judge you by everything
what you're doing
do
now.
They're not going to worry about 2001 when you went to the championship game with the Patriots. They're worried about now. I mean, you dished out their best player. That's number one. Number two is you came out okay, you were out scheming Wade Phillips a little bit there, but then they caught back up to you. And, another thing is, too, he's acting like he's Belichick, making all these decisions, doing, calling all the plays. Okay, but if you're going to do that, you better be right. That's all I'm saying. If you're going to do all of that, you see, Belichick has more rope. Okay, if he's wrong here or there, okay, he gave me 6 Super Bowls. Sure.
That guy's a schmuck.
But if you make those moves, you must be right. That's all I'm going to say. You must be right.
I don't disagree with you at all.
You have to be right. If you're
Gruden's messed up their season before it got started.
You know what it was? I felt like he wanted to come back, but he was on the brink, and you can't work like that. And then they gave him $100 million, and now I'm all in. And I know money was definitely the deciding factor. They're just counting the days, the years, the months till they get out of Oakland and they get into Vegas. That's all.
Sure. Well, unless Khalil Mack has signed a contract somewhere that says once they move to Vegas, he comes back. Yeah. He messed that one up. He also, what are you calling out Derek Carr for? Because the way he was speaking after the game,
that was just trying to show tough love to him, but that's not this kind of error. That's the thing. He's from another era.
Well, the way that he was speaking, you know what I took away from it? Is the fact that, look, he might be looking to start over with a new quarterback. And I'm sorry.
Derek
Carr's locked in.
Yeah, but Derek Carr also doesn't grow on trees.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Who are you getting? There's no Andrew Lucks coming up. There's no Russell Wilsons. There's no Carson Wentz. Who are you getting?
Let me ask you a question.
Will Grier? Who are you getting from college that's going to replace Derek Carr, who, by the way, could have had a legitimate chance at the AFC Championship had he not gotten hurt 2 years ago?
I'm going to lay out 2 guys for you next 5 years. And you tell me just strictly off of Ricky's opinion. Derek Carr, Sam Darnold. Who you taking? And we'll lean into my favorite game of the week. I know it's one game.
No, I think I'd be taking Sam Darnold. Wow. And the reason I say that,
you heard that?
No, and it's not.
No. Give us your.
But you say just my opinion, and
yes. I
think Derek Carr is more talented.
I agree.
Unfortunately, the situations that the two are in dictate to me. I don't have a choice. I see a guy in John Gruden who, after 1 week, I want Oakland to get rid of him, and not that I love Todd Bowles, but I see they're doing everything in their power to make Sam Darnold their guy. And before we go to some fantasy stuff, let's dive into this Jets,
great game.
To the Jets and the Giants. I'll let you pick. You want to start with the Jets or the Giants? You want to save the best for last? Or you want to talk about the Jets versus the Lions or the Giants versus the Jaguars? First, where do you want to dive?
Well, we already stepped on that Giants Jaguars, but
we'll dive in. I want to dive in,
right? But definitely, we gotta recap this Detroit game because that Monday night game, Jets fans, I thought I was in another universe. I thought I was in the Twilight Zone. Darren Lee taking the ball back all the way.
He did look good.
How about Mo Claiborne getting some deflected balls? How about our boy Jamal Adams? I mean, is that guy the leader of our defense? If not the team,
he looked great.
He is the voice of our defense. And how about Sam Darnold? Now, as a Jet fan, I'm just sitting down, right? Pouring my favorite drink. Okay.
Well, what? Ice water?
And oh, yes, absolutely. Ice water on the rocks.
His favorite drink.
And he throws a pick six. Now, in my head, I made a business decision before the game. I had taken the Detroit defense. Okay. So I'm like, mixed emotions. But as a Jet fan, I'm like, oh, boy, here we go again. And then just how God would script it. Put the adversity in front of him and everyone has a plan, like Tyson said. Everyone has a plan till they get hit. Okay?
Knocked upside the head.
Now how are you going to react? And I think that kid reacted so well. I think it was like double negative. So the Jets could get out of this curse that we've had since Joe Willie Namath. Ricky's like sleeping here. Joe Willie Namath. We had to have something negative happen to us and show us our future leader. And I believe Sam Darnold is that leader of the New York Jets. And I want to get your opinion because they made Matt Stafford look like he should still be playing at Georgia. I mean, look, Garrett Blunt. I mean, Jesus, what was his biggest game? 3 yards?
He got hurt.
Yeah, Ziggy Ansah got hurt. Okay, I know about that. But none of their big guys, Kenny Golladay, Golden Tate got a touchdown. Okay. But, I mean, everything just happened well. And Andre Roberts, friends out there, can we remember the last time the Jets took a punt return, kick return back since Mr. Westhoff left? Oh, I was in a dream.
You done?
Your take, yes.
You done?
Instead of being on the pain. But we had to resort to pain first so we could...
So you're not done. You tell me when you're done.
I'm done now.
Because once I get started, this is... Look, the Jets played very, very well. But this game wasn't about the Jets. This game wasn't about Darnold. This game wasn't about Stafford. This game was about one individual. Matt Patricia. Look, I thought Matt Nagy had a bad night. You, my friend, should be on the hot seat now.
Schmuck of the week.
Yeah, we should have a segment called the Schmuck of the Week.
It's coming, people.
He'd be in all 17 weeks.
And then after that, it'd be Gruden.
Right.
But yeah, go on.
Right. Matt, look, I understand it's your first week, but I'm gonna bring a few different points. Matt Stafford really looked like he should be back at Georgia. So they brought you in to be a Bill Belichick disciple. You couldn't.
Which those guys never work out, by the way.
Right. They don't work out because they try to be him. You can't be him. He's him.
You're
you.
Yeah.
You're you. He's him. That's one thing. 2, I'm happy you brought that up. 2, you still have no run game. That's you didn't. You look like you have the same offensive system that you had before. That's 3. Your defense was ill-prepared, other than the pick 6. The Jets' defense knew what plays were coming. It looked like a bad game of Madden. It looked like one of those games that Matt Stafford, you have no running back, and he was just going 5 wide. I don't know if you poisoned your kicker's drink, but he couldn't make a field goal. Ziggy Ansah got hurt, and I'm happy he got hurt, and I hope he's back for this game because he didn't want to be a part of that. So I just rattled off 7 things, but you know what the most important thing was? He didn't even look disgusted. If my team was performing like that, you know what I would be doing? I'd be looking at every single person on my team on the field and ask them, do you want to be here? I don't know if he did or didn't. You know, luckily Beth Mowins try to gloss over the fact that the Lions were a disgrace. Now we hear Tuesday morning, Lions vets aren't happy the way that they worked out.
Oh, no, really? We could see it.
What do you mean the way you worked out? If you wanted to lift more, practice more, Matt Patricia was going to tell you, no, what the hell are you guys talking about? You weren't worked hard. These are the same guys that are telling the CBA representatives that they want to be worth less so they could play more games and be more efficient. And they don't want to play Thursday night, but yet they want to cash a check. What are you talking about? Like, I'm sorry, Sam Darnold, that this night wasn't about you. It was because the team you played was so atrocious. We knew the Bills were going to be bad, and they quit. Matt Patricia's team looked like they quit. The Bills are just not that good.
Well, let me ask you something. Did they really
what was that?
Did they really need the change? I mean, you had a guy there in Caldwell.
I like Jimmy Caldwell.
I liked him. Yeah. Former Raven coach. I liked him.
This is a dysfunctional organization.
It is because they had a great coach. Okay, so the guy went 9-7. But looking at Patricia, they look like they're gonna go 2-14. Again, it's week 1, but you folks know.
No, it's a strong indicator of what you're about to see.
What you're about to see.
Right, and you know what the problem is? Look, if they're coming out and saying this after week 1, and this is my biggest takeaway, Gruden said something about Carr, that's not good for the future, and you have Lions vets, guys like Darius Slay and things like that. Look, they're coming out and criticizing the way they were treated and the way they look, this is an issue. Yeah. But again, Sammy D, Jets fans, he played very well. But we didn't really have to see that much because they were scoring left and right without him. So we're going to see this weekend. I think the Dolphins are going to actually pose a test.
Well, yes, we'll definitely lead into that. They do have the Monday night hangover, but in the end, it was about the Jets. Moving on. Now we're going to talk a little fantasy here, all right? Your week 2 free agent ads, my friend. Who do you got? For people who are streaming out there, for people that are weak at a point.
I hate to say it, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Wow. Against Philly?
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Wow.
Ryan Fitzpatrick. Look, if you take a lot of things away from between the 20s, Matt Ryan was able to really get to Julio Jones. It was once again the red zone that really did them in. Yeah. Ryan Fitzpatrick, now I know he took a bad Saints defense, but we talk about game scripts. They can't run. But Ryan Fitzpatrick has always done well when he's had a speed burner. Yeah. I'm not saying you bench him for a guy that's, Deshaun Watson, but I'm saying Matt Stafford and Big Ben. I picked up Patrick Mahomes. Had I not been able to get Mahomes, I would have taken Ryan Fitzpatrick. I firmly believe that. I think that they're going to have to throw the ball all over the yard. I don't want to hear about noodle arm Fitzpatrick because that wasn't the case. No, ask Deshaun Jackson if he has the noodle arm.
Yeah,
who's your guy?
You made him relevant. My guy, George Kittle from San Francisco by the Bay. Hey, listen. You had Marquise Goodwin go down for the 49ers. Those targets have to go somewhere, and they're going.
Well, he might be back.
He might be, but at the same time, do you really want to play Marquise Goodwin and he's out by the second quarter? Absolutely not. So you want to see some showing. But for me, and you had 2 premium tight ends go down this week. You had 2 guys. One of them, Greg Olsen. He's probably going to be out for a couple of weeks.
It looks like he might be out
for like 4 or 5 weeks. And you have Delaney Walker, who's just been put on IR yesterday. So, to me, it's George Kittle. You guys struggling with a tight end, even a flex option, because he's going to get that volume. And in a Kyle Shanahan offense, definitely Jimmy G. He goes to guys that he trusts, George Kittle, Trent Taylor. But down in the red zone, he's going George Kittle.
I like George Kittle. I actually got speaking of tight ends, I got an offer, Julio Jones, and for Jordan Reed and Amari Cooper. And I almost laughed. I almost laughed on the phone.
Oh, my God.
Now, granted, my tight end is David Njoku.
I thought I was bad.
But before people laughed, David Njoku did play 89% of the snaps, which you have to love.
He was doable.
Yeah, and I know he only had 4 points. He had 3 catches for, 19 yards. But he also had 2 major drops. Mm-hmm. He's a red zone guy. And I think Baker Mayfield will get in there sooner than later. Baker and him will have a connection. Look, folks, buy low now on David Njoku. I'm forced to play him because I don't have another option. But look, I don't want to pay a high price for Jordan Reed. I'm not giving up Julio for him. I could have gotten George Kittle for a 7th rounder. I don't think he's worth that.
Yeah.
What do you think of those 2 trades? It was George Kittle for a 7th. Or Julio Jones for Amari Cooper, who I think is useless. Based on my receivers of Julio Jones, A.J. Green, and Stephon Diggs, where am I even playing Amari Cooper? And I'm not giving Julio Jones straight up for Jordan Reed, who I think might get hurt.
Yeah, I just wouldn't have picked up the phone.
Well, how am I supposed to know what the trade was?
No, I know, yeah. But just some people with those trades, I don't think they think it through too much.
So, folks, we have a new segment. It's called Stash or Trash. Mr. Puma has a few guys in mind. I don't know how many. Him and Dean Nannis have talked before the show. I do not know the names. I have no idea where he's going. Stash or trash. Hopefully he has a few that he knows I would stash and a few I would trash. I hope it's not one-sided. But Puma, take it away. So who do you have for me this week?
Stash or trash? Stash or trash? Sammy Watkins. You stashing him or you trashing him?
I am trashing him.
Yeah, wow. After week 1.
I never wanted him to begin with. There are too many guys out there. Jared Goff, I don't think has the biggest arm. So that already.
No, Sammy Watkins is on the Chiefs, bro.
Sorry, on the Chiefs. I'm a year late. I never liked Sammy Watkins. He was always a big talent with not much production. He reminds me a lot of Kelvin Benjamin, to be honest with you. Similar players. Look, I think Mahomes can get him the ball. The problem is you have Tyreek Hill, you have Kelsey, you have Kareem Hunt, you have Spencer Ware. He's 5th. They're just too many guys to get the ball. What are you doing with it?
I definitely 100% agree with you.
Trash him.
Yeah, I'm trashing him only for the mere fact of...
See if you could trade him for anything.
Yeah, I mean, you might get a hopeful out there. But if I'm in a standard league, I hold on a little bit because Sammy Watkins is touchdown dependent. And down in the red zone, you saw Sean McVay utilize him well in the red zone.
Yeah, he's still a big target.
And
like
also, too, they did give him money. They did give him a good fair share of money. So I believe Andy will use him in the near future. On to our next one. And you just brought him up a little bit. Stash or trash? He's got a new quarterback this week. Kelvin Benjamin.
I think he's much better than Sammy Watkins.
The target's got to go somewhere, my friend.
If you give him Tom Brady...
Well,
No, but listen to what I'm saying.
You and I with Tom Brady get a touchdown.
Well, have you run a route lately?
No, but he would definitely make me look good. But go back to the question.
No. If I think Kelvin Benjamin,
it's a toughie
is
because
better. I just can't. I don't trust. I'll stash Kelvin Benjamin
for a bye week fill-in.
I'll stash Kelvin Benjamin, and the reason is because Josh Allen does have a big arm.
Mm-hmm.
Nathan Peterman isn't good enough to get the water bottle to the garbage, but Josh Allen does have a big arm, and the targets do have to go somewhere. So I'll stash him. I don't want to play him if I'm forced in a bye week, and it's like him or like Cam Meredith. I probably would rather take Kelvin Benjamin. What are you doing? Are you on the same boat, or are you getting rid of him?
Well, no, I'm keeping him, but with hesitation.
Right.
We're for a bye week fill-in. But if someone emerges, like a Cortland Sutton or something like that,
you could drop him.
Then I'm willing to drop him. He's my first one out the door. But with some
you'd hope if there are other people that you have that are willing to get out the door, you're in a bad situation.
Right, you're in a bad situation. But
you hope he's the first one.
I'm dealing from a place of strength here.
Right.
You're not relying or putting your chips on Kelvin Benjamin, but he's a nice bye week fill-in matchup, and you're getting a big arm in Josh Allen. You're definitely going to see some throws.
Right.
Big throws.
I'm with you.
My next one for you, stash or trash? This is a guy I used to love very much.
Don't tell me Willie Snead.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Right. He's driving a car somewhere and getting busted. All right. Stash or trash? Tariq Cohen. It's a toughie because in a PPR league, Tariq Cohen could be very much a flex play. And in that Nagy offense, the utilization that you saw, a little jet sweep and stuff like that, kind of looked like a poor version of Tyreek Hill. So
I'm going to trash him. The reason, it's not because I think he's immensely talented. He reminds me a lot of Chris Thompson on the Redskins. I just think, and I'm saying trash because I think there are guys that you could have on your bench
that are
better and worth more right now. And I think he's a guy that you can easily get back.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be a guy that everyone's like, holy crud, he dropped Tariq Cohen. I'm doing whatever I can to get him. Are you with me? Or but talent alone, he should be on my bench. I just think they're better options.
I'm a little bit the other way just for the mere fact.
You like him more than I do.
I do, and I know that position, especially as we run into the bye weeks and the combination of injuries up to come, whatever they may be, you can never have enough running backs. And I believe if you're going to build your bench, build it around running backs and, droppable players, second quarterbacks, stuff like that. So, but you always want the foundation of your bench to be those running backs because your starters or whatever get hurt so much and the bye week fill-ins. And you could use it as a flex.
I'm with you on that. But I like the kid.
Yeah.
He's got talent.
Of course. Very nice name. Anyway, moving on to our last stash and trash for the people out there.
So there's 4, folks. I didn't know how many.
One more.
There's
one
4.
more. This might be too early. But off of 1 week, because the position is so stacked, stash or trash, I'm afraid to say it, Jimmy Garoppolo. Now think it, the position of quarterback is very stacked. And let's say we're coming from a, classic starting playing of a QB. And say your starter is Patrick Mahomes. Say your starter is Tom Brady. Are you dumping Garoppolo?
I think I am.
Wow.
I think I am. I think the lack of a run game is going to really be his demise. Look, talent-wise, he's got it. But again,
I had to end on a toughie.
Right. No, and that's the toughest one we had. The problem is, again, I think he might turn the ball over too much. See, the problem, that's the only position other than kicker, which you don't really know, that really can, a turnover, an interception is huge because it stops you from scoring points, but it also subtracts.
Takes away
and I saw that firsthand with Matt Stafford. Had Matt Stafford not even done anything, just not turn the ball over, I would have won.
So coming from my perspective, I know
it also depends on what your quarterback situation is, so that makes it a little tougher too.
Right, depending on your situation, but also dependent on the schedule. San Francisco has a better schedule coming up than the Kansas City Chiefs. So say you're in a situation where you have Patrick Mahomes, of course, and Jimmy Garoppolo, like myself. After Pittsburgh, Kansas City has, they're facing some defenses.
Right, because they have a tougher schedule based on where they finish.
Right, you're running into Jacksonville, you're running into Houston, those defenses. So, from a logical standpoint, I would say keep him for the mere fact of, okay, well, he has some easier teams coming up. We'll get D Nanas on that. I don't know that off top head. But, he has some manageable defenses coming. Look how quick he is, my friend. Okay, he's got, after Detroit, Kansas City. He's got the Chargers that Mahomes just lit up. He's got Arizona. He's got Green Bay. Okay, he hits the Rams in Week 7. After that, he's got Arizona again. Week 9, Oakland. The Giants on Monday night, they don't scare me. Oh, and look at this great playoff schedule that he has. Week 12, going down the stretch, of course, Tampa Bay. Week 13, Seattle. They're not the Legion of Boom anymore. They're the Legion of, oh my God. Week 14, okay, Denver. But 15, you got Seattle. And 16, probably the hardest, is Chicago with that pass rush of Mac. So compared to a Chiefs schedule, Pittsburgh schedule, if you have Roethlisberger, of course, I feel that San Francisco, because where they were placed last year, they have a easier schedule going forward. So I keep him because when everyone else is releasing everybody and are looking for a bye week filler, I'm not going to be scrambling. I'm going to have my guy, and I'm going to be locked and loaded. But that's only on that situation.
It depends on what your situation.
On everyone's situation. But from my point of view, I'm keeping him. The kid's talented. He's going to break out. I'm saying, actually, he breaks out Week 3 against him and Mahomes.
Oh, that could be a fun one.
That's definitely an over, and it's going to be set like at 55.
Yeah. All right. Our last topic, it's the pick'em. It's going to be the game of the weekend, including the spread for all of you bettors out there. The game that I am locked and loaded on is the Patriots and the Jaguars. The Jaguars are -1 right now. Before I'm going to give a quick preview. This game reminds me of Jameis Winston and Florida State versus the Oregon Ducks. Oregon was better all around, but Jameis Winston was the best player on the field, and Oregon wiped them clean. If we look in the college football playoff, if we look at this game, Tom Brady's the best player on the field. In every other than tight end, other than in every other aspect, the Jaguars are better. So again, you take away tight end and quarterback. Right. Their receivers are better, even though they're unproven. Mm-hmm. Their running back is certainly better. They're better up front. They're better on both sides of the ball. And their defense is better in every aspect.
Well, let's kill off the coach, too. Then we're really better.
No, right. But I'm just saying, and also I want to take into consideration this Jaguar team was up by 10 in Foxborough.
Yeah.
In a game that they should have won.
Well, they should have won.
This is why you don't put a zone on in 3rd and 18.
Well, this is why, going down the stretch and going into halftime, you don't take a knee with 1 minute and 50 seconds left. That's playing very,
very cautiously. Right. I think that they are going to do whatever they can to really.
So that's your pick of the week. -2.
-1.
Oh, it's -1 now.
Yeah.
Wow.
That I'm going to do whatever I can to kill the Jaguars. Bet them heavily. They're just better. I don't know how else to say it, but I just think they're better. No, I think the Jaguars are better.
Oh yeah. Oh, so you're taking
hammering the Jaguars this week with my.
I mean, you got me confused. You're saying all the nice things about the Pats, and I'm like,
no,
Pats.
No. I'm saying they have a better quarterback and they have Gronk.
Right.
Other than that, the Jaguars are better in every and combined in with motivation. Give me Jacksonville.
I say game time. That game might be a pick-em. Just saying.
It might be, and that would be because of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. But what is your game?
My game, all right, is that...
It better not be the Jets.
No. Actually, I had 2 games going into this, but my favorite game that I'm going to love to watch is the Kansas City Chiefs going into Heinz Field. I love the plus 5.5.
For the Steelers.
No, for the Kansas City. Because they're going into Pittsburgh. And, you folks out there, you football folks, everyone knows the Steelers always run over Kansas City. It doesn't matter where the game is played.
They do.
And this is going into Heinz Field.
They don't have Lev Bell. Lev Bell has always been the game changer.
And that gets to my next point. They don't have Lev Bell, and Kansas City never had Patrick Mahomes. And I believe with those 2 perfect storms, I believe Kansas City, you're pulling it out this time. And the Pittsburgh Steelers start the season 0-2.
I hope.
But wouldn't that be a show?
I have Patrick Mahomes, I have Kareem Hunt, and I have James Conner. So moral of the story, I need points. But no, I'm with you. That's a lot of points to be giving up.
My favorite game of the week right now.
That game should have points. It should be a fun one. But
defense just don't.
You
come.
talked about
just don't get off
you
the
talked
bus.
about you talked about your Jets.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about the Ravens real quick since we're doing a show Thursday. Tonight they have the Bengals. I have AJ Green, so I hope he does work, but I hope the Ravens win anyway.
I'm going against the Raven defense. So I hope he scores and the Ravens pull it out.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think look, for your sake. They're going to throw the ball. Both teams are going to throw the ball. Look, Joe Mixon did look pretty good against the Colts. Won't look as good against the Ravens.
So politically, I know you're a Raven fan, but Ravens or Cincinnati, who are you taking tonight?
I'm taking the Ravens because
we're in Cincinnati, right?
They're in Cincinnati. Right. They're a point favorite.
Do we still do Color Rush on Thursday?
I think they do. So we might see some orange and purple.
All purple and all white.
And all white, right? Because the Bengals are the Bengals are home. So
but that's their Color Rush, all white.
Right. I just think the Ravens are better in all phases of the game. Mm-hmm. I think they have a better offense. They don't have the best wide receiver, but Flacco, I would take Flacco over Dalton. The way Joe Flacco has looked in the preseason and the way he looked week 1 in the rain, I'm taking him over Andy Dalton. I think the run, Kenneth Dixon's out, but I think the combination of Buck Allen and Alex Collins, I'll say that's about a push because they have Gio Bernard and Mixon. But their wide receiver / outside playmakers, I'm going to give the edge to Baltimore with Crabtree, Snead, Mark Andrews looked good. The kid out of Oklahoma. Nick Boyle looked okay. John Brown had a touchdown. I told you, Flacco with a
Spooky Brown.
With Smokey Brown.
Smokey or Spooky?
Smokey. Hope's not spooky. It might be Halloween.
Yeah.
It might be 6 weeks early. But AJ Green still is the best guy there. I just think they're better. And the defense, the Ravens have the better defense.
For me, you know what?
You take Cincinnati.
I'm going Cincinnati. You know why? Because, listen, they're at home. Okay, I got a feeling. I think
they don't play well against the Bengals. I will say historically, AJ Green kills them.
It's weird. I agree with you. The Ravens are a better team than them.
But the Bengals
coming off a short week, coming off that big win against Buffalo, I feel the Ravens will be too much, hungover from that. And I think they will start off slow just for the mere fact it is short. We are playing our first short game from Sunday to Thursday.
Right.
So I believe Andy Dalton, you know what? Red Rifle. I think he pulls it out tonight.
Late.
I'll say this. Late touchdown, John Ross.
Real quick, I will say the Ravens squeak one out. I don't think it'll be by much.
I'd say low scoring game though.
Oh, I'm going the opposite. I think they're going to be points on the board.
They're coming out blazing.
The Ravens should have made the playoffs last year if it was not for the tipped Hail Mary to AJ Green. I think that's in the back of their minds. I also think the Ravens and Bengals will both be happy that they got the early Thursday game because you want to get it out of the way now while they're still relatively fresh. You don't want it come week 11, week 12.
I don't see the Ravens scoring tonight, to be honest. It's one of those Justin
give me a
Tucker
score.
nights.
Give me a score. Oh, I hope not Justin Tucker. I'm playing against
Me
Justin
too.
Tucker.
Me too. But, I have to do reality
I'm
here.
going to say 24-21.
I'm going to say 17-12 Cincinnati.
So the Bengals aren't scoring a touchdown.
No, they are. 17 is...
Oh, they're winning. Right,
Yeah,
they're winning.
winning.
So 2 touchdowns. Oh, so the Ravens don't score a touchdown.
No, all
Joe, I just want to let you know
goal.
that Joe Flacco did have 3 touchdowns. I think he threw for 300.
Okay, that's nice, but we're talking about today, and I think we're going to have 17.
I think we're going to have
Watch
points.
him call me like in the fourth quarter. It's 24-17. What are you talking about?
If it's 24-21, I will come on the show. And I will let you know about it. But, no, it was a great week. A lot of things to look forward to with tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking forward to it. Week 2 for fantasy, folks. If you lost week 1, another chance to bounce back. If you won week 1, big opportunity to continue and stay hot.
Keep the dominance. So, folks, thank you so much for tuning in, of course. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, JFP Sports. Also, too, please follow us on IG at JFPSports. And DM us your questions because we are looking forward to answering yours. Okay, so do not cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. In the great words of the Dr. Seuss. Till next time, folks. Thank you.